This is IGN. Hell is a halfpipe. This is your IGN review of Skate Story by Luke Riley. There are a lot of skateboarding games, and I feel like I've played most of them. Some of them are majestic, some are not. The Simpsons skateboarding was the absolute pits. Tony Hawk Ride was torturous pain. This year's Skate was a microtransaction hellscape. Enter Skate Story. Like those latter examples, it too is a trip to skateboarding hell and a study in pain. In this case, however, that's actually the whole point of this extremely peculiar journey through perdition on a piece of 7-ply. I wasn't always aboard for the sheer and utter weirdness of Skate Story's broader adventure, but there's no doubt developer Sam Eng has successfully married it into a robust and approachable set of skate mechanics, and it certainly makes for a memorable skateboarding game like no other I've ever played. Skate Story is a slightly tricky game to describe, if only because attempting to even discuss the plot sounds a little like you're making it up on the spot. The deal is, you're a demon made out of glass and pain, marooned in hell. It's referred to as the underworld more specifically, but the devil is here either way. I know this because I have his pants. Don't be fooled by Skate Story's grainy lo-fi look either. This is one of the most eye-catching and imaginative-looking games I've played in recent memory. Its psychedelic vision for a neon underworld blends jagged forests of spikes with broken slabs of ancient architecture and twisted blocks of New York City with carpets of stars. Watching this wild world refract through a sneaker-clad demon made entirely of glass is certainly something. The controls are not immediately intuitive because they're noticeably different from the approach taken by the sorts of dedicated sports-oriented skating games a lot of us are familiar with. That is, Skate Story doesn't have tricks mapped to flicking an analog stick around like the Skate series, or both analog sticks as in the case of something like Session. It's more in line with playing something like Tony Hawk, only imagine someone remapped all the buttons. Basic tricks are activated by a combination of either a shoulder button or trigger plus a face button, and grinds occur when you pop and land suitably on a rail or ledge. A variety of other progressively more complex tricks are rationed out and taught to us as the story unfolds over its roughly 6-hour duration. It's not a revolutionary approach, sure, but it's a smart one, since having us always picking up new tricks keeps things fresh throughout. There was a moderate learning curve as I sought to archive decades of Tony Hawk Pro Skater muscle memory in order to learn Skate Story's own specific trick system, but it didn't take too long to come to grips with. Boss battles are handled in an interesting way, and to win these encounters, you need to build up combos and stomp them down inside a marked zone. They can be cleared with a bit of mild button mashing, but there's certainly room to be much more deliberate about your trick selection and timing if you choose to, and you will, admittedly, accumulate better combos and deal more damage, and faster if you do. There are also a number of small and trippy sandbox-style levels to cruise around with various objectives to complete, but some of these tasks do get disappointingly trivial. For instance, one mission that called on me to gather up a selection of floating letters sounded like a cute nod to Skate Story's ancestors, but most of them were just hovering at ground level, turning what could have been a brief but fun challenge into a basic fetch quest across the map and back. Learning to skate can be hell, and Skate Story proves this by taking us into what's probably the weirdest vision of the underworld you'll see without a belly full of Guatemalan insanity peppers. Fusing a solid foundation of satisfyingly grounded skate tricks with a bizarre, abstract world bathed in neon and starlight, Skate Story is a wild trip. I question its replayability and the limited nature of some of its objectives, and I did lose focus occasionally while tapping through its regular text-based conversations, but there's no doubt it's one of the most distinctive skateboarding games of the decade. Skate Story's IGN score? 8 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Skate Story updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.